This individual has kept Tennesseans safe for many years and has been a true leader with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. His experience in law enforcement is highly decorated with years of service and accomplishments that has enabled him to be a true leader in Tennessee. Not only is he a great friend of the Governor's Highway Safety Office, but he's an all-around good guy. Please help me give a warm welcome to Colonel Tracy Schott.
Good evening. Thank you for being here tonight. It's really an honor to have everybody here from so many faraway places, so many special guests that we have. This is our second annual Trooper and Dispatcher of the Year banquet, and it's just a great honor to be able to honor all these people that have performed so well this year. There are a lot of people that I have to thank for putting on an event like this, but first and foremost, I want to thank my executive assistant, Jessica, and April, who have really worked tirelessly to put on this event. Thank you, girls. We have a lot of special people here tonight, and you'll get to meet quite a few of them, but I want to mention just a few of them right off the bat. I have Mike Wagers here, the Executive Director of the State and Provincial from IACP from Washington, D.C. Mike, thank you for being here. One of the greatest friends a THP Colonel could have, Kendall Poole from the Governor's Highway Safety Office. Thank you, Kendall. Bill Scollin, the Director of Office of Criminal Justice Programs, who's just a great asset to the Highway Patrol and does so many things for us. Bill, thank you for being here. We're in the middle of a $120 million radio project, and we have our Motorola representative here, Jay Malpass. Jay, you've been invaluable to our organization. Thank you very much. Some of our professional friends that work with us, I have Chief of Police Glenn Chrisman and Assistant Chief Roy Fields. Thank you guys for being here. And then I've got the old guys here with us, some retired members of the command staff. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Albert Strother. Albert, thank you. Retired Lieutenant Colonel J.R. Perry. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Danny Wilson. And my best friend in life, retired Major Phil Harden. I really want to say a special thank you to Commissioner Gibbons and Commissioner Godwin for their support of the THP and their willingness to recognize the great work that the troopers and the dispatchers do across the state. All of you honored here tonight really make me proud to represent you day after day as Colonel. I want to thank my command staff and our district and administrative captains for their leadership and hard work. It takes all of us really to make this work. It's not just a one-man organization or a one-man show. It takes a lot of people working together to make our organization better. I also want to recognize Assistant Commissioner David Perkey, who's in the back of the room. David, thank you for being here. And Assistant Commissioner Lori Bullard. Thank you so much for being here. With that said, I'd like to get on to the night's activities and recognize the achievement and hard work that are represented here tonight. It's amazing, really, what's been done. Working together as trooper, dispatcher, investigator, supervisors, and leadership, we've increased our efforts in all performance measures and had the third lowest fatality in Tennessee since 1963. You've responded to our challenge to take impaired drivers off the road and enforce the seatbelt law with new vigor to save lives. The THP made almost 6,000 arrests for DUI in 2012. The top 10 DUI enforcers that we'll honor here tonight account for 17% of that total. So you can see how hard they've worked throughout the year. We've had great successes in many areas. but none of them more important than establishing the Highway Patrol as the finest law enforcement agency in this state and one of the finest law enforcement agencies in this country. I want to take just a minute to recognize three guys here tonight. Lieutenant Jack Vaughn, Sergeant John Officer, and Sergeant Rick Woodward. Would you all stand, please? These three guys supervise the Rutherford County area, the county you're in tonight. This is my home county where I live, and a lot of the command staff live in this area. This county has produced 2 of the top 10 DUI enforcers tonight in 2012, and they have some of the highest enforcement activity throughout the state. And on top of that, they always rank in the top 3 in crashes worked. These guys do a great job in making Tennessee a safer place through their supervision and leadership of the troopers in Rutherford County. Thank you guys, I appreciate everything. I want to thank all the troopers and Dispatcher of the Year award winners tonight. Your work is going to be recognized tonight, and it's a great thing, and you all have performed and made us look so good as an organization. You've performed at the highest tradition of our agency. I hope you enjoy tonight. This night is truly for you. You are Tennessee's finest. Thank you very much. I want you to meet and hear from both commissioners tonight, and I'll simply say, without going into a lot of detail, that these two gentlemen are a pleasure to work with, and it is really an honor for me to serve as colonel under their leadership. They bring a new level of integrity and professionalism to our department. The Commissioner of Safety and Homeland Security is a man who's earned a great deal of respect in government and law enforcement circles, most notably as a district attorney in Shelby County for 14 years, and now as the Commissioner of Safety and Homeland Security. Please welcome a true professional, Commissioner Will Gibbons.
Well, thank you very much, Colonel Trott. Tonight we are recognizing a number of the finest among Tennessee's finest, our state troopers, as well as a number of our dispatchers from across the state who work with our state troopers on a day-to-day basis. Last year, for the second straight year, the Tennessee Highway Patrol was awarded second place by the International Association of Chiefs of Police as Best State Police in the category of 500 to 1,000 officers. Colonel Trott has been elected second vice president of the International Association of Chiefs of Police. This is the third highest leadership post representing all state police organizations in the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. These are examples of the high level of professionalism we have in the Tennessee Highway Patrol. They are truly Tennessee's finest. As many of you know, I carry with me in my pocket every day a Tennessee Highway Patrol challenge coin. And I do that for 2 reasons. Number one, to remind me on a day-to-day basis of the sacrifices that I know our troopers and those who work with them, as well as their families, make. And I also carry it with me because I am simply proud of my association with our state troopers. Now, one thing we have recognized is the need to develop a stronger working relationship with the private sector in our state. And with the support of Governor Haslam and the General Assembly, legislation was enacted last year allowing the creation of a private foundation to support the mission of the department and the Highway Patrol. And we're very fortunate to have with us several foundation board members, and I want to recognize them. First of all, Evan Cope from right here in Murfreesboro and his wife Beth, Reverend Fred Detweiler from Nashville, and Dr. Nate Schott from here in Murfreesboro as well, and his wife Nancy. And I'm going to ask all 3 of those board members to stand to be recognized. We appreciate very much your support of the department and of the Highway Patrol. Now, Governor Haslam could not be here tonight, but we do have a video message. I hope it's working now. Our technological problem has been resolved. And so, in closing, it is my pleasure to introduce a video message from Governor Haslam. And again, thank all of you for being here tonight.
Congratulations to all of tonight's award winners. While this evening is to recognize individuals, I want to take this opportunity to tell all of you that Tennesseans are grateful for the work that you do every day to keep all of us safe. Men and women in the Tennessee Highway Patrol often do heroic things. Tonight is a chance for the state to take notice and thank you in a public way. We know that your work is stressful and dangerous. You never know what will happen during the next seemingly routine traffic stop. You never will be able to tell how many lives that you've saved just by doing what you've been trained to do day after day. We all know that when bad guys do bad things, they tend to hit the highway. They then fall under your watch and your responsibility. Whether forced to put training to work in short order or operating on lessons learned from years of experience, troopers are often challenged. The task can involve arresting a fugitive or assisting in a childbirth, as last year's award showed. Whether the award is for Trooper of the Year, Dispatcher of the Year, or our top DUI enforcers, you have gone above and beyond the call of duty, which is saying a lot. On behalf of 6.5 million Tennesseans, thank you for your service to our state.
I want to take just a minute to let you hear from our Deputy Commissioner. Our Deputy Commissioner really needs no introduction for those of you around law enforcement circles. He's been in law enforcement almost 40 years. Spent all of 38 years in the Memphis Police Department, where he rose through the ranks to the rank of director and led the Memphis Police Department for about 6 years before coming to the Department of Safety. He adds a level of energy and integrity to our department that we've not seen in many years. It's my pleasure to introduce the Deputy Commissioner of the Department of Safety, Larry Godwin.
I didn't know whether I was supposed to jump up here and run up here to show how much energy I have. Since I've only got about a minute. He said a minute and a half, so I'll never make it. Well, first of all, I will be brief. I really enjoy these ceremonies. I enjoyed them when we did them, and I enjoy it now even more. But first, let me say that it is a privilege for me to be a part of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security, and to be able to be here tonight at the second annual banquet to honor Tennessee's finest. I know this is a special day for these employees and families. It's also important the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security continues to show its appreciation for our award recipients tonight. I also think it's important to recognize the family members who proudly sit here. Because when you look around the room and you see the smile on their face and gleam in their eyes, especially those little ones, it really tells you why you do the things you do. And it's just so many times dedication and recognition is not there. And it goes somewhat unnoticed. But the recognition of the fine men and women tonight for their actions is vital to the history, to the welfare, and to the direction of the Tennessee Highway Patrol. As I've stated since my arrival almost 2 years ago, and I know you've heard me say this many, many times, I have never met a group of men and women that have so much pride. So much pride in the way you look, so much pride in the way you carry yourself. And you should be proud of your department. You should brag about your department. It's your future. And it is a direct reflection of you and what you stand for. You set the standards, you encourage those around you to give their best, to keep positive attitude, and never let anyone disparage you for your strong work ethic, because the work ethic is here in this room tonight, and it's across the state of Tennessee from Tennessee's finest. You serve it as an example in what it means to make a commitment to this community and all the communities throughout the state of Tennessee. I commend you. I respect you. It is truly an honor to be a part of such a great organization, and it's a privilege to go places and represent you. And with that, I will say, God bless, be safe. And Colonel, I don't think I went over the 2-minute mark. So, thank you.
Okay, I know everybody's hungry and we want to get to our meal. At this time, would retired Lieutenant Colonel Albert Strother come forward, please, and ask the blessing. And after that, we'll go right into our meal. And at appropriate time, we'll have our awards ceremony will begin.
Let us Father God, we bow before your presence with thanksgiving in our heart. We're thankful that you allowed us to assemble at this place. We're thankful, O Master, for those that are being recognized. We thank you for the tireless effort that the men and women of this department share each day in protecting the lives of the citizens of this great state. We thank you for their families and loved ones. And we ask, O Master, that you continue to watch over us, keep us. We thank you for the leadership of this department. We thank you, O Master, for this state. And we ask you to continue to bless us in a mighty way. We know that we can look to you not for one thing, for all things. Continue to keep your hands around this department, O Master, that we go out realizing, O Master, that we have to give an account for our actions, and we look to you not for one thing, for all things. Bless our families, our loved ones, and now bless the meal that's been provided for us for the nourishment of our bodies. In your Son Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
You're joining a proud tradition, and you have a proud tradition to uphold.
The men and women of the Tennessee Highway Patrol, you work tirelessly to keep our state safe. You're easy to spot on Tennessee's roads and highways, but often your work behind the scenes goes unnoticed. You are Tennessee's finest.
Never do anything that will embarrass the badge that I pin on you and the brothers and sisters that wear the uniform that you wear today.
We need men and women like you if we're going to be the state that we want to be.
I've seen that video 50 times, and it never fails to kind of get me jacked up about our job. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you continue to enjoy the meal that we have tonight. We're going to continue and go on with our program. One thing I did want to mention, I neglected to recognize one person before. Commissioner King, former U.S. Marshal Denny King, is with us tonight. Denny, you're always a pleasure to have here with us in the patrol. Our keynote speaker tonight has flown into Tennessee today from Washington, D.C. just for this event. He's the Executive Director of the Division of State and Provincial Police of the International Association of Chiefs of Police. Mike Wagers has worked with 50 state police and highway patrol superintendents and colonels in the United States, Puerto Rico, and the commissioners of 3 Canadian police forces. He oversees all division activities, program staff, including grant-funded work in information sharing technology and highway safety. Mike is the staff liaison to the IACP Committee on Terrorism and Homeland Security. Prior to coming to IACP, Dr. Wages worked in the private sector at 2 universities and was the interim director of the Strategic Planning Office of the New Jersey State Police. He received his PhD from Rutgers University under the guidance of Dr. George Kelling and the guidance of Chief William Bratton. Please welcome to Tennessee a true friend of the Tennessee Highway Patrol, Dr. Mike Wagers.
Of course, when my 10-year-old daughter heard I was flying into Nashville today, you can imagine the only thing she thought about was, if you see Taylor Swift, please get her autograph. So maybe I'll get Jessica to scribble her name on something. I can tell her it was Taylor Swift. I bring you greetings tonight from Colonel Mike Edmondson, Louisiana State Police. Colonel Edmondson is the General Chair of the ICP Division of State and Provincial. It's a position your Colonel, as Commissioner Gibbons mentioned earlier tonight, he will assume in a couple of years. I am a very poor substitute for Colonel Edmondson, who unfortunately could not be here tonight. Although I share his commitment for this job, I can in no way convey to you his heartfelt passion about improving the lives and the profession of not only the men and women of Louisiana State Police, but troopers and civilian staff across this country. And certainly say that given what he's done over the past year to help improve officer safety for the troops here in the United States. Please know that he does send his best wishes to everyone in this room tonight, the troopers, dispatchers, and certainly their families. I'd like to thank Colonel Trott for inviting me here tonight. I'm sure I do not need to tell you what a great leader he is. He is well respected across the country, and I am proud to call him a friend of mine. And I'm honored that he invited me to share this very special occasion with the men and women of the Tennessee Highway Patrol. When Jessica sent me the invite, to see if I was available, I certainly jumped at it, the chance to come down and to spend the evening with you. I'm very lucky, as Colonel Trott mentioned, that I get to work with all the state police and highway patrol agencies here in the U.S., Puerto Rico, and the 3 provinces in Canada. And so you can imagine I travel a lot. And in my travels, I talk to a lot of troopers. And I can say that without a doubt, and doing so, first and foremost, I am always in awe of the dedication that troopers, no matter what badge or patch they wear, demonstrate day in and day out with their actions. And the same goes for all the civilian staff that supports them in their mission. I'm also always encouraged by the enthusiasm that I see displayed by law enforcement officers across this country for this profession. It's not just a job, it is a way of life. You're not doing this simply for a paycheck, you're doing it because you believe in something deeper. I want to take this opportunity to let you in on a little secret as well. I get a lot of credit for coming up with ideas that may lead to new programs at the IACP, may lead to new projects, new training, and so forth. I get those ideas from the field, from the troops on the ground. And while I love my colonels and their command staff, like Derek Stewart out there, it is the men and women on the road day and night that always provide me with the best ideas. The innovations always come from the ground. And let me give you one recent example. I was called to a White House meeting last week to represent the IACP and state police on the issue of human trafficking. I made a few comments to the Vice President's staff at the end of the meeting that made me look like I was the smartest person in the room. They thought I knew what I was talking about. And as my wife could tell you, I fool a lot of people a lot of the time. But what I said, however, came from a couple of troopers and one analyst in the Fusion Center. I got the credit, the thoughts, the ideas from those guys and gals grinding out every day in the field, just like you guys do here in this room. They're the ones who have the best and the brightest ideas. I started out by saying that I'm a very poor stand-in for Colonel Edmondson. That is true. But let me tell you one thing I think I know better than him, and I hope Colonel Trott won't repeat it, and probably a few other colonels that you've heard speak before. I know how to be brief and when to get the hell off the stage. So let me close with one of my favorite verses, which I'm sure most of you in this room are familiar with. It comes from Matthew 5:9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. In my mind, that sums up this profession. You are peacemakers, whether you're patrolling some interstate highway, some rural road, working in a high crime area, responding to some call for service. Your job is to keep the peace. By doing so, you keep me, my family, citizens of this state, and citizens across this country safe and secure. And you ensure that we continue to enjoy all the rights and privileges that go along with living in a free and democratic society such as ours. So blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Thank you, and I thank your families for sharing you with us. You are truly doing God's work. Thank you.
We'd like to recognize Mike with just a token of our appreciation for coming all the way from Washington down here to be with us tonight. He really has the best interest of the Tennessee Highway Patrol at heart in everything he does in his work, and I can't tell you what an asset he is to me in helping me with the leadership of this department. So Mike, thank you very much for coming.
At this time, it is my honor to begin the evening's awards ceremony. This event is a way to acknowledge great accomplishments and achievements made by members of the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Each district will recognize the trooper and dispatcher that exemplified outstanding service and character. Please help me welcome from District 1, Knoxville, a superior female leader with the THP, and actually the second ever female major with the THP, Major Cheryl Sanders.
Dispatcher Trina Hinchy has served with the Tennessee Highway Patrol since 2008. She was on duty when a man from Michigan en route to Atlanta for a cancer treatment was involved in a crash on I-75. His dog ran away at the scene of the crash. Dispatcher Hinchy got a description of the dog and kept in touch with the man for updates. After leaving work the following day, she and her husband went to visit the man to bring him some food and money. While they were there, a citizen located the missing dog and returned it to him. She was also on duty on March 13, 2012, when a truck driver perished in a vehicle fire, and the same day Sergeant Lowell Russell was involved in an accident that nearly took his life. Dispatcher Hinchy handled these intense events in a calm and professional manner, as she always does. It is for these reasons I am pleased to recognize her as the Knoxville District Dispatcher of the Year. Trooper Eric Miller has served with the Tennessee Highway Patrol since 2007. In the Knoxville District, it is often said that if we ever had a poster that exemplifies what a state trooper is and should be, it would be Eric Miller. In addition to his duties as a road trooper in Loudoun County, he is a member of the THP State Honor Guard, the Knoxville District Strike Team, the District Executive Security Detail, and he provides security for the UT football coach. He will also be assisting at the training center with the upcoming cadet class. He frequently researches officer safety issues and distributes information throughout the district. He takes this upon himself and does it in his personal time. He has excelled as an FTO. Trooper Colby Huff has displayed that he has learned Trooper Miller's work ethic and has arrested 34 DUIs in his first 6 months on the road. Despite all of Trooper Miller's responsibilities and assignments, his activity remains high, including 57 DUIs, 638 citations, 64 CMV inspections, and 64 physical arrests. Recently, he underwent brain surgery and has made a remarkable recovery. One of his main concerns was that he would return to work as quickly as possible and give it 110%. He did just that, and it is my pleasure to recognize him as the Knoxville District Trooper of the Year.
For the Chattanooga District, Dispatcher David Winters has served the department since 2010. He is very knowledgeable in all aspects of his job and is regarded by the Chattanooga District Troopers as one of the best operators in our communication sections. As one of our primary CTOs, his dedication to training new employees is evident in the daily performance of his current communication personnel. He does not take off from work unless it's absolutely necessary, and is always willing to change his days off or shifts without little notice to accommodate others. He always goes the extra mile to help anyone he can. He is an asset to our department and this year's Chattanooga District Dispatcher of the Year. Chattanooga Trooper of the Year. Trooper Tommy Lyles began his career with the Tennessee Highway Patrol in 2007. He is a highly motivated and creative law enforcement officer who has earned the respect and admiration of his peers and supervisors. He is assigned to Franklin County, a rural area with no interstate. He led the district in DUI enforcement in 2012. His 86 DUI arrests also earned him a spot in the top 10 DUI enforcement statewide. He has one of the highest enforcement activities in the Chattanooga district with 1,028 citations, arrested 106 individuals, has 69 commercial motor vehicle inspection, and seized 13 vehicles. He continuously strives to be a better trooper, working hard to keep himself updated on all state and federal laws. For his hard work, commitment, and loyalty to the department, I am proud and honored to award the title of the Chattanooga District Trooper of the Year to Trooper Tommy Lyles.
Dispatcher Darlene Hoskins joined the Department of Safety in 2008. She worked very hard to improve herself since then. In 2012, she reduced her CAD error rate from 16% down to 0. She has the Mighty Thirds mentality of results, not excuses. As a communications training officer, she spent a large part of 2012 training the 4 dispatchers that were hired for the district. Some of these new hires required additional training, and she stepped up to the plate and gave the extra time and effort that it took to get the training in place and to get the dispatchers on board and trained up. Dedicated CTOs such as Darlene are essential in training and maintaining qualified dispatchers to ensure that the safety of all troopers is kept statewide and that the dispatch center operates efficiently. Please join me in congratulating Darlene Hoskins as the 2012 National District Dispatcher of the Year. When it came down to nominating the district's overall selection for Trooper of the Year, I appointed a committee from my administrative staff to review the top 5 candidates from the district from each troop. I asked that they rank each of their considerations. After we did this, though, we could not reach a consensus. I spent several days myself going back and forth between nominating one of 2 outstanding troopers from the National District for Trooper of the Year. And I'll tell you that honestly, I could not justify selecting one over the other. Trooper Vincent Chirosi is a 13-year veteran of the Tennessee Highway Patrol and has a record 216 DUI arrests for 2012. This is an accomplishment that's never before been realized in the history of the THP. He is the Mighty Thirds one-man task force. He also issued 1,674 total traffic citations for the year, which is the 2nd highest this year in the National District. His hard work alone has contributed exponentially to the department reaching its goals and objectives for 2012. He simply refuses to be outworked. Trooper Adam Grinder joined the THP in 2005. This year he has 124 DUI arrests, which would be nearly a National District record if it were not for Trooper Chirosi. Trooper Grinder's DUI arrests are especially impressive to me because he works in a rural area of a county which has about 50,000 licensed drivers. Trooper Grinder also had 349 commercial motor vehicle inspections with an overall out-of-service rate of 29%. His persistent investigative skills in a recent fatal crash led to the indictment for vehicular homicide when the crash was initially deemed by several investigators to be non-criminal. While neither of these troopers is nominated for a single act of heroism, they're both heroes in my book. Heroes for the countless lives they've saved through their combined DUI arrest. The immeasurable impact of removing 340 impaired drivers from Tennessee roadways should not be overlooked. These two troopers are both worthy of being recognized as the 2012 National District Trooper of the Year, so they shall share that title. Please join me in congratulating Trooper Vincent Tarosi and Trooper John Adam Grinder.
Dispatcher Tequila Daniels joined the Memphis Communications team in 2011. On August 30th, 2012, she received a BOLO from Memphis Police Department for a subject wanted in a homicide investigation. Sergeant Jamie Jarrett was on patrol at the time and observed a vehicle matching the description of the suspect vehicle. Dispatcher Daniels verified the registration information and matched that of the suspect vehicle and dispatched another THP unit at Sergeant Jarrett's request. The traffic stop turned into a pursuit that continued for nearly 15 minutes, and Dispatcher Daniels remained calm, providing pertinent information, directions, and updates to the THP units involved. Upon learning that the suspect had planned to commit suicide by cop, she understood the heightened risk and broadcast the information immediately. Her ability to stay focused and remain calm may well have thwarted a potentially deadly situation. She understands well the volatility of a trooper's job and works diligently to ascertain and disseminate necessary information quickly and accurately. The 2012 Memphis District Dispatcher of the Year is Tequila Daniels. Sergeant Jamie Jarrett is a 12-year veteran of the THP. The traffic stop with which Dispatcher Daniels assisted him in August makes him worthy of this nomination. Sergeant Jarrett was on Interstate 40 around the Haywood Scale Complex when the BOLO from Memphis Police Department was received. He observed a vehicle matching the description given by dispatch, and it was confirmed to be the suspect wanted for homicide. He requested backup and then initiated a traffic stop. Upon activating his emergency equipment, a pursuit ensued. The pursuit continued across the district line where a Jackson district trooper deployed spike strips successfully. The driver was transported to the hospital and later released to Memphis PD. His actions prevented further harm to the citizens of Tennessee and led to the apprehension of a wanted felon. Congratulations to the Memphis District Trooper of the Year, Sergeant Jamie Jarrett.
Dispatcher Rebecca Casey has been with the department since 2005. She is always eager to help other employees as she works to make our communications room more efficient. She strives to improve and streamline the various job tasks that are required in our radio room. She also serves as one of the radio operators for the THP at the Bristol race, and we receive compliments each year from other agencies on how well she performs her duties during this event. The 2012 Fall Branch Dispatcher of the Year is Rebecca Casey. As Rebecca's coming up here, I might say that anytime we go into dispatch and we're needing to get something from her, some information from dispatch, we can have 3 other dispatchers in there, and by the time I can get it out of my mouth, she's handing it to me. So she's very, very efficient. Thank you, Rebecca. Trooper Nathan Hall joined the THP in 2007. On December 16, 2012, at around 9 p.m., he responded to a call from the Kingsport Police Department of a 15-year-old female attempting to commit suicide by throwing herself from a white SUV traveling down the interstate. Following a search of the area, Kingsport units left the immediate scene to meet with the juvenile's family to file a report. Trooper Hall, however, remained in the area to continue searching for the young girl. After almost an hour, he located her atop a rock cliff approximately 60 to 70 feet high, screaming and crying. The white SUV was just ahead, pulled off on the shoulder of the road, and the mother was screaming at the juvenile. She advised Trooper Hall the girl was going to jump. He began dialogue with the girl, attempting to keep her calm as he scaled the rock cliff in total darkness. His calm demeanor allowed him to stabilize the situation so that he could reach her without further incident. Upon making it to the top of the cliff, Trooper Hall handcuffed himself to the girl to ensure her safety. With the assistance of a ladder truck from the Kingsport Fire Department, he was able to escort her down the cliff to safety, one step at a time. The bravery and courage he displayed that night is nothing short of heroic. He did not hesitate, but acted quickly and decisively to de-escalate the situation and prevent the juvenile from taking her own life. It is my honor to recognize Trooper Nathan Hall as the 2012 Fall Branch Trooper of the Year.
Dispatcher Tanya Hadaway has served the department for the past 9 years. On February the 15th, 2012, she received a call from a woman who stated one of her family members was traveling to the Crossville area with the intentions of committing suicide. Dispatcher Hadaway obtained a callback number for the caller as well as the phone number of the family member in distress. She then made contact with the young lady, who hung up on her several times. She was persistent in her efforts to make contact with the woman until a location could be determined and a trooper could get to her. This took approximately 3 hours. The woman was transported to a hospital where she could receive help. Dispatcher Hadaway's dedication and determination no doubt saved a life that day. Her desire and ability to go the extra mile for the safety of her co-workers and the public has earned her the title of the 2012 Cookeville District Dispatcher of the Year. Trooper Dwayne Jennings joined the THP in 2007. He does 95% of his report writing off duty. When asked why, his response is that he wants to stay 10-8 to make more cases. And I can assure you that he makes more cases. This work ethic has him ranked number 2 in the district for DUIs, total citations, and number of arrests. Trooper Jennings rarely issues more than 1 or 2 citations on a single traffic stop, writing for the most severe violations in most cases and issuing written or verbal warnings for the less serious infractions. He always looks beyond the ticket. On August 25, 2012, he stopped a vehicle for speeding 77 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour posted zone. The driver and his female passenger both appeared to be very nervous. When Trooper Jennings checked the DL status of the driver, he learned that the 19-year-old male had an outstanding warrant for statutory rape and proceeded to take the driver into custody. Trooper Jennings then questioned the female passenger about her relationship with the driver. After providing him with multiple inconsistent stories, she became emotional and confessed to Trooper Jennings that she was only 13 years old and that she had been dating the driver for about 6 months. Upon learning that her mother was aware of the consensual, intimate relationship, he contacted DCS and discovered the juvenile had also been raped by a neighbor in the past. There is no doubt that Trooper Jennings' instinct and attention to detail prevented this horrendous crime from continuing. I am pleased to recognize him as the 2012 Cookeville District Trooper of the Year.
Dispatcher Cynthia Krause joined the Department of Safety in 2007 and brought with her a wide range of knowledge, education, and talent. On August 20th, 2012, she was just beginning her midnight shift when she was advised that Trooper John Judge had been involved in a traffic stop with an unidentified driver that had led to a shooting and a pursuit. She was advised that the subject later was taken into custody and was updated of all the available information. Dispatcher Krause took it upon herself to take the available information and after a long and lengthy search was able to identify the subject. Dispatcher Krause found the subject to have a lengthy criminal history with entries from 6 different states. The subject also had suspended or expired driver's license from 5 different states and an active warrant out of the state of Indiana. Dispatcher Krause went above and beyond the call of duty to locate information on the subject when no one else could. She has proved that she can handle most stressful situations with class and professionalism, and I'm proud to recognize Dispatcher Cynthia Krause as the 2012 Lawrenceburg District Dispatcher of the Year. Trooper John Judge is a 13-year veteran of the THP. The traffic stop which Dispatcher Krause assisted in August earned him my nomination for the 2012 Lawrenceburg District Trooper of the Year. Trooper Judge stopped a vehicle for speeding on U.S. Highway 431 in Marshall County. The driver did not have a driver's license nor any identification and gave conflicting information. This raised Trooper Judge's suspicion of criminal activity, and he decided to arrest the subject until positive identification could be made. At this time, the subject attempted to flee on foot, and failed to comply with verbal commands given by Trooper Judge. A physical confrontation. After a physical confrontation, the subject jumped into his vehicle and attempted to flee. He again ignored Trooper Judge's verbal commands and even told him to shoot him. He started driving away, dragging Trooper Judge down the highway, at which time Trooper Judge was able to draw his weapon and strike the subject in the upper arm. Despite sustaining injuries to his legs and hands himself during the altercation, Trooper Judge was able to pursue the subject in a pursuit at speeds over 100 miles per hour, at which time Trooper Judge apprehended the subject in adjoining Lincoln County. His actions on this date reflected great credit upon himself and the THP. Please join me in congratulating the 2012 Lawrenceburg District Trooper of the Year, Trooper John Judge.
Dispatcher Adam Forsythe has been with the department for 12 years and has proven to be a dedicated, loyal employee. He was very instrumental in setting up the original CTO program for the Jackson District and is an outstanding CTO. He provided valuable input and assistance during the design and remodel of our new radio room. He cheerfully assists with computer projects and ensures successful day-to-day operations in the radio room. Dispatcher Forsythe displays the attributes that any dispatcher should strive to attain and is well deserving of the title 2012 Jackson District Dispatcher of the Year. Having graduated from the THP Academy in March of 2011, last year was Trooper Jason Kirk's first full year as a Tennessee State Trooper. Calling it an impressive rookie year would be an understatement. In 2012, he demonstrated well the ability to look beyond the citation with 12 drug-related cases. He also led the Jackson District in DUI arrests in all 4 quarters with a total of 68 arrests, earning him a spot in the statewide top 10 DUI enforcement for the year. He investigated 116 crashes, made 104 arrests, completed 69 CMV inspections, and issued 1,570 citations. With each shift worked, he contributed to reducing crime and making Tennessee roadways safe for the public. In 2012, he completed numerous training courses and also is a member of the District 8 strike team. We should all be so lucky to have a first-year trooper with the character, ideals, and integrity of Trooper Jason Kirk, and I am honored to recognize him as the 2012 Jackson District Trooper of the Year.
Trooper Buck Buchanan joined the THP in 1997. On November 2, 2012, the THP Special Operations received a call to help a stranded hiker on the Appalachian Trail in the Great Smoky Mountains. After being stranded for several days and encountering waist-deep snow, the man was just be able to get minimal cell service and made a call for assistance. With food and water running low and hypothermia setting in, he set up camp and awaited rescue. Trooper Buchanan and his special operations crew in the Huey helicopter took flight to the top of the mountain, where they were able to locate the subject, the shelter that was used by the subject, and actually tracked him to his current location, where he'd set up a camp. And then, during the low visibility, strong winds made the dangerous mission of hoisting a trooper into the deep snow risky. Trooper Buchanan was lowered to the ground into chest-deep snow utilizing a hoist. He made his way to the hiker, quickly explained the rescue process, and outfitted the man with a harness. Trooper Buchanan remained on the ground while the hiker was hoisted into the helicopter. He then collected all the hiker's gear and was hoisted back into the helicopter. It was later determined that the man would have probably not have survived another night in the harsh weather conditions. For his efforts that contributed to saving the life of this stranded hiker, I congratulate Trooper Buck Buchanan on being selected as Administrative District Trooper of the Year.
For the Special Investigations Bureau, I'd like to say Trooper Sean Boyd has been with the Tennessee Highway Patrol since 2002. He was nominated for Investigator of the Year based on 2 cases in particular. On April 24, 2012, Trooper Boyd served several search warrants that resulted in the seizure of $1.5 million from a traffic stop that was made in the Lawrenceburg district. The stop also produced a confidential informant, which led to the currency seizures. On May 25, 2012, Trooper Boyd and Nashville DEA served several arrest warrants on this information and conspiracy to distribute marijuana. He had purchased $110,000 worth of vehicles, boats, campers used in illegal drug money. All were seized by Trooper Boyd and the Nashville DEA through extensive investigation. The second case stems from a roadside currency seizure in November 2010 in the amount of $56,000. The subject offered his cooperation and Trooper Boyd opened an active investigation that lasted for 2 years. The case has been completed and a total of $800,000 in U.S. currency has been seized, $300,000 worth of vehicles seized, 41 kilos of cocaine seized, and there's been 19 arrests in Tennessee and 3 in Texas. Please congratulate the 2012 Investigator of the Year, Trooper Sean Boyd. Interdiction Officer of the Year, Sergeant Wayne Dunkelman is an 11-year veteran of the Tennessee Highway Patrol and has played an intricate part of the success of the Tennessee Highway Patrol Interdiction Plus program. He made several high-profile cases during the 2012 calendar year. One was an arrest with a relatively small amount of marijuana on an individual. which was eventually adopted by the Tennessee Highway Patrol Task Force Officer Sean Boyd. This case led to the arrest of 7 individuals and resulted in a seizure of over the $1.5 million. The case involved a narcotics trafficking ring covering 3 states. He has made 15 felony arrests last year, 8 DUI arrests, conducted 76 commercial motor vehicle inspections, and is connected to over 330 pounds of seized marijuana. He is an excellent supervisor who does not ask his troopers to do anything that he would not do himself. I am pleased to recognize Sergeant Wayne Dunkelman as the 2012 Interdiction Trooper of the Year.
What incredible accomplishments. Congratulations to all the award recipients. It's a true testament to what you do for this state and for all Tennesseans. Thank you guys so much. Another round of applause. At this time, I'd like to introduce a gentleman I had the opportunity of meeting just a few days ago. While I've only known him for a short period of time, I've heard that his dedication and commitment of 31 years to THP will forever be appreciated. Please help me welcome Lieutenant Colonel Wayne Springer.
Getting impaired drivers off Tennessee's roadways is a primary objective of this administration, and our troopers have supported this effort wholeheartedly. Overall DUI arrests for 2012 were up 25% from the previous year. Before that, a trooper could earn a spot in the 2010 top DUI enforcement with only 30 arrests. Here we are, just 2 years later, and it takes over twice that many arrests to be part of this elite group. Of the troopers in the top 10 DUI enforcement for 2012, 7 of them were in the top 10 last year as well. And 5 of those 7 have made the top 10 list for the last 3 consecutive years. The top 10 troopers we are about to recognize collectively arrested 996 impaired drivers last year. That's 17% of the 5,882 total DU arrests that were made statewide. The trooper with the 10th most DUI arrests for 2012 is from the Nashville District. He's a 13-year veteran of the THP, and this is his 3rd consecutive year in the top 10. He increased his personal DUI arrest totals from 2011 by 25%, with 64 DUI arrests. Please congratulate Trooper Chad Bilbrey. Trooper Bilbrey is ill tonight and couldn't be with us. The trooper with the 9th most DUI arrest is a graduate of Class 311. During his first full year as a trooper, he not only earned a spot in the top 10 DUI enforcement, but also led the Jackson District in DUI arrest for all of 4 quarters of 2012. He was just recognized as the Jackson Trooper of the Year. With 68 DUI arrests, please congratulate Trooper Jason Kirk. The trooper with the 8th most DUI arrests for 2012 works in the Nashville district. He joined the department in 2004 with 70 arrests. Please congratulate Trooper Charles Aikinger. And I mispronounced his name. It's Aikinger. Sorry. The trooper with the 7th most DUI arrest is from the Fall Branch district. He's been with the THP since 2002. This marks his 2nd consecutive year ranking in the top 10 with 72 arrests. Please congratulate Trooper Jeffrey Applebaugh. The trooper with the 6th most DUI arrest is a 6-year veteran trooper. He's ranked in the top 10 for the past 3 years. He had a 91% increase in DUI arrest over his total in 2011. He was chosen as Chattanooga District Trooper of the Year by Captain McGill. With 86 arrests, please congratulate Trooper Tommy Lyles. The trooper with the 5th most DUI arrests for 2012 is also a 6-year veteran of the THP. He's from the Fall Branch district, and this is his 2nd year as one of the top 10 DUI producers. With 89 arrests, please congratulate Trooper Jonathan Street. The top 4 troopers are all from the Nashville district, and collectively they are credited with almost 10% of the total DUI arrests made statewide last year. 3 of those troopers are in the top 10 for the 3rd consecutive year, and 2 of them were tied for last year's top spot. The trooper with the 4th most DUI arrests for 2012 joined the Highway Patrol in 2002 and works in Rutherford County. He was tied for number 1 in last year's top 10 and finished a close 2nd the year before. With 100 arrests, please congratulate Trooper Michael Marvin. The trooper with the 3rd most DUI arrest also works in Rutherford County and was the other person tied for the 1st place in 2011. He became a trooper 5 years ago, and this is his 3rd consecutive year in the top 10. With 107 arrests, please congratulate Trooper Michael Cummings. The trooper with the 2nd most DUI arrests for 2012 also works in Robertson County. He joined the THP in 2002, and he's also making this his 3rd consecutive appearance in the top 10. His total DUI arrests for 2012 were up 47% from last year. With 124 arrests, please congratulate Trooper John Grinder. The award for the most DUI arrests in 2012 goes to a 13-year veteran trooper who works in Davidson County. His DUI arrests alone account for over 21% of the 996 total arrests made by all of the top 10 troopers. He has set the national district and the statewide district this year record. It's so impressive. With an impressive 216 DUI arrests, please congratulate the one, the only, the mighty Third's one-man DUI task force, Trooper Vinny Tarosi.
We've had quite a night. Great achievement, great workers. When we vote for these awards, these Trooper of the Year awards and Dispatcher of the Year awards, we take a vote of the command staff. There's 8 people involved, and all of us have very distinct personalities and preferences and perceptions of what should be done and what is a better accomplishment than another one. And I think what aggravates me is I only get one vote. So sometimes I vote for the winner and sometimes I vote for a loser. But there are no losers here tonight. What I'd like to do now is recognize some people who have really helped the patrol. And I give my own Colonel's Achievement Awards because sometimes I don't get what I want in the other awards. So I've got a few people here I want to recognize that really make a difference in what we do, give us great contribution to the success of the organization, and enhance our organization. So I've got a few people I'd like to recognize. The first one is our HR director from the Department of Safety. Our department has a lot of great people who really work hard day in and day out. One person here tonight directs all the transactions that hire every trooper cadet, that hire every dispatcher, that hire every radio tech, every administrative employee, not only from the THP, but from the Driver Services Division. She directs the promotion process, the evaluation system, handles every employee transfer. We could not be successful without her. A Colonel's Achievement Award goes to the Director of Human Resources, Carrie Baldry. The second Colonel's Achievement Award goes to a man who has been just a tremendous help to us in achieving some of the goals and equipment needs that we've wanted to over the years. Not many of you here tonight has even heard of the Office of Criminal Justice Programs. The director of that office is a friend that has furthered the programs and goals of the THP in so many ways. Over the last 2 years, he has awarded us $1.2 million to buy equipment that we otherwise could not have afforded. Projects such as helicopter remodeling and refurbishing, new flashlights, tough book computers, LPRs, firearm and driving simulators, motorcycles, and 3D mapping equipment. The Colonel's Achievement Award goes to the Director of Criminal Justice Programs for Tennessee, Bill Scollin. This award really comes at an opportune time because we have, at 1 o'clock tomorrow, 64 cadets reporting to our training academy to begin intensive 19-week training. Our training division is really one of the finest in the nation. They prepare our troopers if they were their sons and daughters preparing for battle. They are modernized, they are proficient, and they are persistent. They have taken an old building that no one else wanted and made it into a professional setting for training and a source of pride to all of us. The one fact that stands out to me is that 100% of the cadets that have graduated in the last 2 classes are still working as Tennessee State Troopers today. That is dedication and efficiency at its best. The Colonel's Achievement Award goes to Captain Don Nicholson. The next award goes to an older friend who retires this week. For the last 7 years, Wayne Springer and I have worked side by side to bring this agency from a low point of 2005 that we all remember to some of the greatest accomplishments over the last few years. Probably the best accomplishment that we've had is reforming the hiring and promotion systems to merit-based without outside political influence. We now improve our department from the inside, hiring and promoting the best people possible. Wayne has played a key role in our data-driven enforcement, increasing enforcement in areas to reduce fatalities, the evidence tracker system, the THP audit system. Wayne has definitely left his mark on this organization, and he will not soon be forgotten. The Colonel's Achievement Award goes to retiring Lieutenant Colonel Wayne Springer. The last Colonel's Achievement Award goes to the district that works the hardest toward accomplishing the department goals. Last year, it was won by the Knoxville district and Captain Sanders at the time. And there were many other captains that were very envious and set out this year to win the award. The winning district receives this flag that is to my left, and it has their district stamped on the flagpole to remember each district that won year after year. The job of a district captain is one of the hardest in the department. I want to recognize the district that has accomplished most in achieving our goals for the department. In 2012, our goals were to increase our DUI enforcement and our seatbelt enforcement in order to keep the fatality rate low. This district had an amazing year, highlighted by the captain's ability to implement our data-driven enforcement program. Their DUI enforcement increased 43%, and 25% of all DUI arrests occurred in this district. Seatbelt enforcement increased 130%. Total citations were up 26%. Commercial citations up 72%, and CMV inspections increased 32%. The District of the Year will be awarded this flag for their year and displayed in their office. The District of the Year is Nashville, and the winner of the Colonel's Achievement Award is Captain Jim Hutcherson. Now for the last two awards of the evening. The Dispatcher of the Year Award for 2012. It is my honor to announce that at this time. For her consistent performance, her contact in locating a woman who had intentions of ending her life, and her work in assisting a trooper with the arrest of a child predator, the 2012 Dispatcher of the Year, Tanya Hadaway from Pittsburgh. To present the 2012 Trooper of the Year, I'd like to bring up last year's winner, Trooper Dwayne Stanford from the Jackson District. Dwayne will present the Trooper of the Year ring, which goes to the winner each year. It is also a great honor to present this award for the THP. For his work ethic, positive attitude, and everyday example of what a state trooper should be, along with his heroic action in locating and climbing a rock cliff to save a young girl's life from suicide. The 2012 Trooper of the Year Award goes to Trooper Nathan Hall from Baldwin.
What an accomplishment. And we've got Daddy of the Year here. I mean, this has been great. I've watched you with this little girl, and she's just a doll. Way to go, Dad, I tell you. This has been a great evening, but I have to comment before I conclude this evening. Trooper Hart, he owned those DUIs. Did you see him come up here before his name was even announced? You're the Governor's Highway Safety Office dream. So that was classic. Thank you all very much for this evening. This concludes our evening's events. Thank you for all you do to keep us safe. Your service to our state is appreciated and held near and dear to our hearts. Thank you for inviting me to spend your evening with you. Please drive safely and good night.